Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday. Just got home a little bit ago, and as I was coming in the yard, I see my grandpa's here. Let's see what kind of shenanigans he's got going on over here. See the shop shut up still, so I can see it. I see what's going on in here. What's going on today?
Well, we're figuring out about painting because Grandpa's got a fender to paint, so we're teaching him about mixing modern paint gun or modern paint formulas. He's learning how to mix paint with a cup instead of by hand.
You mean paint that isn't lacquer, you mean?
Paint that isn't lacquer.
No, I'm not using
paint
lacquer.
with hardener and all those
I have
things.
to use hardener and all this stuff for high-tech Toyota.
Oh, okay. All the fun stuff.
It's a Toyota car.
Oh, I got you.
And they got all kinds of junk that you got to add to this and add to that. I went to Aero Auto and got stuff lined up over there, so what I need to buy and what I have to get.
So he's trying to figure out how to use a mixing cup.
Oh, I got you.
After 50 years of painting, he's going to learn how to paint. After
Really?
50 years of painting with lacquer and enamel from the old school of Del Star and Dulux and regular nice lucite enamels and all the nice lacquer that he's used over the years, now it's time to learn how to work a paint cup and hand mix it a little bit from.
Yep.
We'll call us modern people. We're still not that modern.
There's my water.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday moving cars around, got the 78 up on the rack here and stuff. My dad got the exhaust put back on yesterday. So we usually just take these two bolts off, flip them down, since this is our street car. And then in the midst of looking around underneath and just checking everything over, we found that the passenger side spring perch is starting to flare out a little bit. Got a little bit of flare to it, which is getting close to rolling, so we're gonna brace these up now. Put some gussets from here to here, which this car didn't have a problem with, but now it's got a pretty good size converter in the car now, so we'll do that on both sides. So I'm gonna get the slicks pulled off here, and then we can start making some pieces for those, and then we'll get them welded on here in a little bit. We got the gusset plates all made up for the rear end, and as you guys can tell, this is actually a 8 3/4 Mopar, which came out of a 69 440 4-speed Dart GTS. A long time ago my dad had. But anyway, so we got our 2-inch plates made. So we're just going to do some grind off the paint here on the perch and on the axle housing on both sides over here, and then we'll get her buzzed in here in a few minutes. Well, the old Miller 210 does it again. We got the gussets all nice and welded in. And I'm nowhere near a professional welder, but I do all right. Stuff stays together anyway. That's kind of the main thing. So got them all buzzed in. and then we'll get them cleaned up a little bit here. Spray some paint over the top of them, and then we can you already put the tires back on and get my 79 over here, get that ready to go. Well, there we go, good as new. All nice and painted up black. The satin black will dry here in a little bit, and never gonna know it's even worked on. So time for some tires and then switching cars around. Got the 78 all on the floor, ready to go. Got the tires torqued, as you guys saw in the time lapse. Dad was spending a little time vacuuming out the inside, getting that all nice and clean, and putting actually a lock back on the glove box because we had an issue with that where the key was a little wore out and didn't want to move it. So, saying that, so. And I got a dome light cover too, because that's missing, as you guys saw in the Brainer videos. But anyway, this actually is a 304 Levi's 78 AMX. My mom used to daily drive this car for many years, actually, with a 304 and a 360 and stuff like that. And then we kind of used it to play around with as a kind of our extra car. And a fun fact is too, when I was born, I actually rode home from the hospital in this car right here. So this car's kind of near and dear to me because it's been in our family for so long, and it's the first car I ever drag raced actually too when I was 15. So it's just been a lot of fun. It's you know, just a nice, you know, driver quality paint job, something you have fun with. Runs 13.5 consistently. I've driven it 2-hour trips before with the gear. It's got probably 370 gears in it. So, but overall, it's a hell of a fun car to drive. Got a fresh lock for the glove box anyway.
No, actually, I'm trying to find the key that's not wore key.
Yeah, I said about the wore out key, but
So, looking for an original key from the actual archives of keys.
so we can find something that actually works without having to change the whole thing. But I guess we can find a lock cylinder too. But
Yeah, I'm plenty of them. I was just trying to use one.
sounds good. Well, we got the 78 AMX done last night, and then we put the Javelin back in here overnight so it didn't get rained on. And then we got my 79 in here now, obviously, as you guys just saw. So this is my 79 AMX. I built this when I was 15 into 16 era at the time, about 2012, 2013, somewhere in that range, if I remember right. And so it's set up with a 4.1, a torque 4.1, 727, a 9-inch in the back, runs about 1230s in the quarter. It's been the car I put a lot of time into when I was younger and stuff. So it's done a lot of detail work on this car. As you can tell, it's very nice under the hood here too. This is my 73 401. This is actually the same motor combination here as the Gremlin has. So this is the 280 comp cam. This actually has 502 heads, 62cc chamber heads on this motor. And then it's got still bridge pivot rockers, iron bridge pivot rockers yet. Torque around here. This is an 800 Dell pumper on this motor still. And then points eliminator kit and set of regular Headman headers, and everything else is stock bottom end, stock rod, stock crank, 8-to-1 compression. I did on these 502s, I did clean up the exhaust ports on these just by myself in the garage here. So they're not CC'd or anything, but they're cleaned up a little bit. They're just cleaned up a little bit. I just wanted to try doing some of that when I was younger. So I figured, hey, well, why not? So, well, actually, that was in 2020. I put this motor in here. The original motor I built for this car ran 13 O's consistently. That had a mild Elgin cam in it actually. And that motor is in my Jeep truck now, actually. Jeep truck now. So, but yeah. So we're gonna get this up on the rack here in a second. I'll show you guys underneath a little bit, and then we'll get to just checking over everything over, make sure it looks nice, and get ready for Kenosha. We got the AMX up on the rack here, and I'll show you guys underneath here a little bit what we got going on. As you can see, it was actually very, very detailed when I first started with it, but it's been about 10 years since it's been together, so it's not perfect anymore. Not that we're that bad, but you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, a little bit of wear and tear is all part of having fun with the car too. So, like I said, more or less stock 401. I do have aftermarket balancer on it, and you can see stock pan, and then I got my 727 up in here with a little deep pan on it. That's got a manual valve body in it, reverse pattern, and then a 3500 stall currently. It's gonna go back down to a 3000 here soon, just because I was using a stall converter to solve a problem that didn't need to be solved. And I figured that out with the Gremlin, so we'll be solving that in a second here, a little while. So then we got our Ford 9-inch back here, which has a strange 31 spawn axles in it and a full spool, and then a red Holly red pump up there above the tank. So overall, pretty simple setup, more or less. It's all kind of more basic, just the basic base level stuff, but makes the car work very well. And I did have stock axles in this rear end for, I want to say 8 years. Last time I was in Kenosha in the parade, I did probably about 14 burnouts or something like that. The car goes out and does burnouts, goes back in the garage mostly. He goes to car cruises and stuff. And he goes racing every once in a while. But about 4 burnouts deep in the parade, I ended up actually snapping the end off the stock axle out of this car, which is actually right here. So. We got cars ready to go and stuff. I got the AMX put away. Now we're in a few seconds moving stuff around. So we got the dually off the gooseneck over here and stuff, and then we got to move some cars around. So we're actually gonna put the AMX back on this trailer over here, and put that around over kind of our wood area over there, and pull our 2-car trailer out of the back area over there, just so we have some more room in this area. It's getting kind of tight. It's a lot of stuff around everywhere. So. But yeah, so we'll get to that, and I'll do a little taping. I got her all up on the trailer, which wasn't bad, obviously, for a 12,000 pound winch. But yeah, let's get some of this stuff out of the way and kind of get it backed around there by the other Spirit over there. So, but yeah, this was one of the project cars we had for a while. It's actually a 78 AMX, so I'm painted brown. But but it has a cage in it and stuff. So it actually was a race car for a little while. But yeah. Well, it's another day here. Some more rain. We're trying to get stuff done. But we did get the stuff put back out here anyway. So got the trailer put back here in the rain, all that kind of thing. So. But on the bright side, the car got a wash job, so there's that. Well, yesterday you guys saw us moving stuff around the yard and that kind of thing, and we did continue with that actually. So we had some time across the yard as well, just kind of organizing where everything fits in this yard, just since we have a lot of stuff, and I want to clean up a little bit. So we decided to, the two Super Duties over there, we come in and out of these doors commonly. You move the camper with the J20 with the camper on over in front of my Tan Eagle over there, and you may see an empty hole over there. Well, that empty hole is where my 78 Golden Eagle J10 sits. So this is my dream truck since I was about 5 years old. I was able to get a nice truck out of North Dakota in 2017 and restored the whole thing and did some other stuff to it too. So figured you guys might enjoy seeing it a little bit. I decided I'm gonna drive it to work tomorrow since the road construction between here and my job is getting pretty close to done. So I'll probably drive it in a couple days here once they're done paving. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So this is a 78 J10, has a 401 in it with a cam, R4B on it, and then 600 Holly. It's all pretty done nicely up inside too. We got our tack on the dash there, and obviously some KC light switches, gauges. And I added a second fuel tank too because the 401's a little thirsty. So I got 17 gallons up here and then another 15 underneath the truck. So she definitely drinks it all, but it goes pretty good, honestly. I've had it up to about 110, which is pretty good for a four-wheel drive truck. But really why I pulled it out today though too is recently, so for a long time, KC, the light company, they discontinued their yellow vinyl covers, and I had yellow ones on this truck since I built it because I love the 70s era time, which as you can see we have a lot of 70s cars. So I love watching Smokey and the Bandit and all just the trucks in the movies and just Dukes of Hazzard, all that kind of stuff. This era time is just, I find it so cool. Got the trucks, got the white spokes on the Fords and the square bodies and roll bars and KC lights, and just doesn't get any freaking cooler than that for a 70s truck, honestly, in my opinion. So anyway, I lost one of my yellow covers on the way down to Duluth. This is where I used to work before I moved back up here. And so I had to buy these plastic ones. This is always available. From actually a guy on eBay made them. They look similar to the normal ones, and they just don't look quite right. They look a little too modern for my liking. And recently, KC made a limited run of their old vinyl yellow covers. So I was ecstatic. I saw it, and as I work, I ordered like 5 sets. So I got them all for future builds too. But anyway, I'm gonna put them back on, make the truck look how it's supposed to look again. And also, you guys may notice too, it's a little bit low for the 70s look. I have it at stock height currently, because I used to actually tow the 24-foot enclosed over here with it, which it actually did very well. Not gonna lie, towed it really nicely. But so it'll probably get a lift kit here in the future here too. So some 35s and maybe some slots, complete the whole 70s look. Ah, so much better. That's what I'm talking about right there. Now it looks legit. Looks even cooler when I got the flag up too, because I got a flag mount between the lights. Well, we got everything kind of moved around and stuff. We got the trucks put away over there, as you can tell. We got the Super Duties over there. My truck's just hanging out there for now. Got my mom over here washing up the 2-car open deck trailer. We're going to use this one for Kenosha instead of the big one. Just because a little more maneuverability and what we got going on there. We're staying at the motel and stuff, so we need something to stay in. So we're gonna put the 2 cars on that, and then just take the black truck and then put all our stuff on the top, or all our racing stuff, like our different exhausts for racing and our slicks and that kind of stuff. Since we'll change over the cars from street tires to slicks at the track, and then probably leave the trailer actually at the motel. So that way, what we're gonna do is we'll drive into the track from town of Kenosha to Union Grove to Great Lakes Dragway, which is about probably 20 minutes. And then we'll just switch them into race mode, race them, and then switch them back into street mode and drive them back, just because the motel doesn't have the most amount of parking. So if we move the trailer, it really won't have a spot to put it in when we get back from the racetrack late. So with that being said, we got all that. She's washing that up, so that's good to go. And I got kind of all of our stuff ready to go for Kenosha. So now we're gonna go inside the shop here, kind of get some stuff wrapped up inside there. You may have noticed there's that 80 AMX in the background of the videos. It's a parts car. We put that in there in June actually to take it apart, because we had some time. That was the plan anyway, and then we ended up taking more time on the 48 foot, getting this all set up for us to use for going to Brainerd and other events. Excuse me. So we did not get a chance to park that car out since. We actually bought the 48 foot as an empty cargo trailer and built the whole thing inside. Everything you guys saw, we put in there ourselves. It was a basic floor, basic walls, nothing else in there. So we built a little shower in there. Everything was put in there by us. So it was a heavy undertaking and a lot to do. I'm gonna try to get that cut up today anyway. I just gotta pull the wiring harness out of off the cowl of the car basically, and then pull the dash out of it and the AMX harness for the gauges and the other stuff that it has for the different hatch mechanisms, all that kind of thing. And then we'll cut it into pieces and we can get out of the shop. So I'll get to it. So anyway, this is the 80 AMX we have here for a parts car. As you guys can tell, there's no front clip. And actually what happened to this car is it was smashed probably in the early 90s. My dad bought it because I had actually a wheeler racing 6-cylinder in it. The girl that drove it actually pulled out in front of a semi, and then it smoked the front end over. So the whole front end was probably about 2-3 feet wide, something like that. As you guys can tell, the cowl's pretty bent up and everything else like that. But I will say, it actually is impressive how well it did. So like the doors still open perfectly, not a problem there. You can shove no problem. So, and this is not actually a rust-free car. It's pretty actually rusty as well too. So. But so the 80 AMX was a 6-cylinder automatic car. So I'm gonna pull the dash out of here and stuff, get all this out of here. Mostly the wiring, because the dash actually got broke in the accident from the broken cowl, bent up cowl. But and then we'll get some more of it kind of chopped up. But as you can tell, it's got some rust holes in the back here and stuff. I guess there's a bunch of junk in the way, but there you go. You can see my feet down there. So just a little on the thinner side. It's got weight reduction. But anyway. Well, now I got my daily dose of asbestos. I think we're in a pretty good spot now. As you guys saw, I got all the carpet out, and yeah, she's a little thin in a couple spots. So we got holes right there. That's not really connected anymore at all. And then we got no floors. Torque boxes are rotted out, rotting under the seat over there. That whole corner is just pretty much basically gone. we have half of a 1980 AMX now. I was able to get most of it cut up. Obviously, you saw the tranny fell when I was done because it was kind of sitting up in the air goofy, but it's kind of the easiest way to do it in this case when we don't have the tranny or the rear end of the parts out of the car. Usually when I cut these up, we'll pull all of the drivetrain out of them at first, so I'm not having to fight this, trying to look and make sure I'm not cutting up any cables, any lines, or pulling cross members off in the middle of cutting, all that kind of stuff. So, but we didn't hurt anything. And this tranny actually is pretty low mileage. And I shaft off the rear end over there and get this exhaust unhooked, get the tranny and the drive shaft out of the way. And then we'll start playing around back there. So far, so good. We're getting there anyway. I'll chop these pieces up a little bit smaller right now because we're hauling in for prepared scrap. So that has to be 3x2, which is why I'm cutting the car up basically. And it's easier for my grandpa to haul it in that way with our trailer instead of trying to fit it all in his truck or something like that. So. That's a wrap. 80 AMX is a pile of 3x2 pieces in the corner. And probably about 30 pounds of rust on the floor. Well, thank you guys for watching this channel. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that like button, smash the subscribe button there too, and we'll catch you all later.